If you're looking to buy sports card inventory to resell, there's a lot of different ways that you can source your inventory. In this video, I want to talk a little bit about one that I think is quite good if it's done well, and that is buying large lots on eBay. Let's get into this. Now, of course, everybody buys cards on eBay. It's a common thing to do. But if you're looking to buy like larger quantities to be able to resell, buying card by card on eBay is not necessarily always going to be the best approach. It can be. I mean, you can find really good deals on there at times, auctions that fall through the cracks and things like this. But at the same time, because eBay's previous sold listings are currently used as like the comps and what the value is considered for a lot of cards for a lot of people, sometimes if you find a really good deal, it actually ends up being that becomes the new value of that particular card. Now, if this is a card that sells again and again, and you happen to get one that's an outlier that was much lower, and you happen to be the one picking that outlier up, wonderful, you've done that. But if it's a card that doesn't sell quite as often, or just has a sale, every month or something like this, like the really good deal that you feel that you've gotten because of the way people are using comps currently, that becomes kind of like the perceived new value of that card. So it's almost like it's a catch-22. It's like you got a good deal, but by getting a good deal, you make the card not be worth so much money anymore in a lot of people's minds. Not that it actually changes the actual card value, but the way that a lot of people think about comps, it changes how people perceive that card's value a lot if you got that deal. So one way to avoid this but still buy cards on eBay is to buy bulk, to buy lots. Now, of course, this is generally a good practice if you're looking to buy inventory, buying a larger amount, whatever. If you're at a card show, if you're buying somebody's personal collection, whatever you're doing, if you're buying a large amount, and within that large amount, there might be some that are a little less valuable or something like that. But if you're buying a large amount, that you usually can have a better margin for reselling. And eBay is a particularly interesting option sometimes. There's some stuff on eBay that is like, just thousands and thousands of cards. You can't really see what it is, and they're just trying to offload their junk wax stuff that you can't sell for anything. That, at the best, you could find somebody who might buy it for like a penny for like 20 cards or something like that, or offload it at a garage sale for $1 for like a big old chunk of, a Ziploc bag full or something like that. It might be the only way to offload some of that stuff. So that stuff, if you can't see the pictures, probably want to avoid it if you just can't see it, unless you really want, you're a risk taker and you think, this is a person this is the only thing they've ever put on eBay. They're not like doing anything regularly. They're just trying to offload one-time thing, and you want to give it a try. I don't know. Maybe there's occasions where you hit the jackpot there, but I think 99.9% of the time you're getting junk wax stuff that's not worth it. But if you can see the card and buy a bunch of the card that it's a card either that you believe in or that you think you can get a really good deal, go for it. If you can find, like just recently, if I, for example, find one single like Evan Mobley Prism rookie base card, I'm not going to really buy for it on eBay. Even at $1 or something like that, plus $1 shipping on the eBay standard package envelope, pay $2 for it, I probably wouldn't do that. I don't think it's really worth it for me if I'm thinking about it as a reseller. But if I'm thinking about it as buying a lot of 50 of them, then I calculate it and say how much would I want to pay for each individual card if I thought I could resell it for $2. Maybe I say, I'm going to see if I can get 75 cents per card, and then put in a bid on at that level. You might not get it all the time. It doesn't work that way with single cards. The single cards on eBay will pretty much always go for comps or close to comps or somewhere in that range. You can get good deals here and there, but with lots, oftentimes there's less people looking at it. The only people who are looking at it are most likely resellers, so there's just less of those. Collectors, even somebody who's an Evan Mobley collector, doesn't want 50 base Prism rookies. So the only people who are going to be bidding on that particular auction are resellers. So it lowers the amount of people looking for that card. And if it's a card that of a player that you think you can resell at some sort of pace, it might be worth it to do that. So that's one of the reasons I think it's a good idea. And also, just in comparison to what I was saying before, it doesn't affect the overall perceived comp value if you get a good deal. Even if you ended up paying 75 cents per card, that doesn't affect the value of that card as a single card. It still is a $2 card or a $2.50 card if that's what the single card of it is selling consistently. So you are getting a larger supply of these things for cheaper per card, and if you want to resell it that way, you can do that. Now again, it's really up to you, your approach, how you want to do this. Sometimes the bulk lots are lower end cards. There might be occasions when you find like a higher end card in there, and look at those, because really if you have some like a bunch of like lower end stuff, but hidden in the mix is one or two like gems of cards, and it's not really advertised so well. Like the title, maybe it mentions it, but it doesn't like put it out there so much, and people might just skip past it. They might just think it's a bunch of base stuff. I've seen that too, like with some Bowman, it'll be a bunch of like Bowman First Chrome stuff or Bowman First Paper stuff, but in there's like 2 refractors, and maybe it's a really good player, or like a numbered refractor even, and just from the photo, you don't notice so much if you're just scrolling quickly, and if they don't emphasize it enough, a lot of people might scroll right past it. And so there are occasions where you might be able to get a lot like that has a couple of like better gems in there. So you just have to kind of keep your eyes open and really in some ways look for the ones that are not titled well, and look for the ones that the photo is a slight bit blurry, or just something that you think it would be easy for people to skip past. If you notice yourself skipping past something, be like, wait, why am I skipping past that? Let me look a little quicker, because maybe other people are skipping past that. So that's the other thing I'm kind of trying to do now. Now again, as if you follow this channel, you know that I've just recently moved to the US, so doing this on eBay is a newer thing for me. I've just been starting to do it more recently, but I've been doing it on Card Hobby in China quite a lot over the past couple of years. And the other place where you can actually do this, and I'll talk about this later, I have a link down in my description, I believe, for $10 free to Loop. But there's a few places on Loop as well where you can bulk up. On Friday nights, this guy named Deez, he sells singles and slabs and stuff, all the different sports. And if you bulk up a bunch of stuff from him, you can also get a really good deal. So I'll talk about that one in a different video in the future. But anyway, that's it for this one. Peace.